I'm just blown away right now. Just really blown away. This show on Amazon, it's wow. I'm gonna just say this honestly, that this show has left me just wanting more. Like, I literally had my jaw open the whole time. And wow, this show is, I'm really surprised that no one has told me about this stuff. Given that I know so much when it comes to Marvel and DC, but this show, I'm surprised no one has not once mentioned this to me, because I am literally mind blown by this, right? So, for all those who have not yet seen it, the show Invincible, this is going to be kind of a spoiler type thing. I'm not going to spoil too much, but I will say that this show, I advise people to go out and watch it, because this is almost like me watching The Boys. And I know from when I first watched The Boys, like, I was mind blown by that show, given all of what was going on in it. And so with The Invincible, I'm just like, so for my opinion on this show, is awesome. It's awesome-tacular. And the reason why I say that is because this show really much touched base on what you really don't see from our classic hero type world. So, of course, you got your main star, Invincible, of course. The name of the show is called Invincible. There's a superhero by the name of Invincible. I have to admit that given, the character, I actually may have to put him as one of my favorite heroes, because, again, it's almost as if it's like a mixture of Superman, but has like Spider-Man mentality type thing, if you get what I'm saying. So the show Invincible is basically about of course, this guy from a planet comes to Earth. He settles down, has a wife and son. Son name is Mark Grayson, who happens to be half alien, half human. So with that, this whole show it delves deeper into seeing a hero progress throughout the show. Now, of course, he made tremendous mistakes, but at each mistake, it's like he grows a little bit stronger and stronger near death. So, and one thing it did have on there, it did have it showed characters that kind of mimic the Justice League. It's just like The Boys. Like, you have The Boys that mimic the Justice League, and now you have these superhero team, which is called the Guardians of the Globe, who, are a peer image to DC's Justice League. I will go ahead and name them. You have the Immortal, who's pretty much kind of like Superman, which I would also put Omni-Man on there, because Omni-Man pretty much has the powers and the origin of Superman, but Immortal pretty much is like the Superman of the group. Then you have a character named Darkwing, who is a pair image of Batman. You also have War Woman, who is, of course, given the name War Woman. Wonder Woman, like, can you not see the parallels with that? You have all those different characters. There's even a character that mimics Aquaman, who's actually Aquarius, a fish named Aquarius, and then you have Red Rush, who's also supposed to be the Flash. Then you have Martian Man, who of course is Martian Manhunter, and that one character who really didn't stick out with me. I guess she kind of like a ghost, green. I think her name is Green Ghost. I think she's supposed to be like Green Lantern, but anywho. Yeah, I thought it was going to be, when I first heard about it, I was like, okay, it's probably going to be like another dark superhero show. I didn't know where it was going to go, because, again, I didn't know nothing about the show Invincible. I know that they said it was based on a comic. So what I did was, when the show first aired, I watched it, and I was like, okay, this seems pretty legit. I figured it was going to have a couple of, dark, scenes in the show, because, it was rated M. I ain't gonna say rated M, but I know it was not for kids. So I was like, okay, maybe it wasn't gonna be all that. But then there was that one scene in the first episode that I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all know. I'm pretty sure, some of y'all already seen that one scene on the first episode that just got you like, well, I'll be. Like, it really threw me off because I was not expecting that. Because, the boys had already surprised me with that one scene on the first episode. And that's what got me on that. And so with Invincible, same thing. Like, that one scene, I was just like, whoa, Kim, what are you watching? Like, is this a superhero show? Because at first I was getting like some boys vibe from it. Once I saw that scene, I was like, oh man, I gotta keep on watching it. So pretty much, this whole show has a lot, and I mean a lot of gory scenes on there for an animated show. And also, not only did I do that, I also read with a little backstory on most of the characters, comic origins, their power set, abilities, like how they fit in this whole universe. And wow, reading the origins of it and then reading a few of the issues of Invincible, I'm just like, wow, just if they could do all that in the comic, I would want to see how they would, imitate that on, the animated show. So again, this show is, each episode, it shows the character Invincible going through these process of, learning how to be a hero. And, each time as being a hero, you have to realize that, when you starting off somewhere, you fail. Like there's so many times that he does messed up as a hero. He's even met a team. Oh, there's even a team called Teen Team. That kind of reminds me of the Teen Titans. But of course, Teen Team, it's a teenage superhero group that's, for the Guardians of the Globe. You also have this one character named Cecil, who was kind of like the Nick Fury of the Invincible universe, of course. But yeah, this show, I'm honestly cannot wait to see what, season 2 has to offer, because what I just saw from season 1, I'm actually itching to see where they go. And given that I kind of did a little, background history on the characters, the story, see where they can venture off to, I'll be glad to see like other characters that I have seen in the, comic, add up, in the animated show, because especially this one character by the name of Thrag, man, I really want to see this character Thrag, because I don't want to go too far and ahead for those who have not seen the show or haven't read the comic. I don't want to go too far, but I'll just go ahead and throw out a name by the name of Thrag, because man, Thrag he's something. He's really something. But what do I think of the show so far? I give the show an A. And it's not just because that I'm a big comic guy or superhero guy. It's mainly because that I actually got to understand, the main protagonist or the main character of the show, Mark Grayson, because again, he's just he was first started off as an average teenager who, was going through, trying to keep his grades up, trying to figure out, where he wants to be in life, where he, go to college, get a girl, has a friend, has a job. He was just going through kind of similar to how Peter Parker is in the Marvel universe, before he got spider power. He was just a plain regular teenager. But that one day when he finally developed his power, it's like his whole world changed. But then it also begs the question, with all this power does come with responsibility. Of course, that whole, with great power comes great responsibility actually plays a part in the Invincible, because, with someone with that much power, you got to, be in check, especially if you progress further down in the show and along with the comic. You get to see why that a person that has so much power has to be held responsible for it, because, a lot of times characters who have that much power do become blinded by it and don't really, see the error of it. There's also a couple of side characters that do make a good, that kind of add some depth to the show as well. As far as like Adam Eve, to me, Adam Eve is almost like Scarlet Witch. And honestly, I see that she can be the most powerful of the team, if not the Guardians of the Globe, because given her power, her abilities, it's just unbelievable. Like, I would be afraid to face someone like her if I had powers like the Invincible. So I would be afraid to face someone like her. You also have a character by the name of Robot who at first I didn't know much about him. I thought he was just a plain robot, but come to find out there's, a backstory with him as well. Then you have characters like the Mauler twins. Of course, they're just the Mauler twins, but they play a part in a couple of scenes in the show as well. You also have Rexplode. Rexplode. Just an average superhero, but you get to learn something about him. One character that really threw me off was a character named Monster Girl. I'm like, wow. So Monster Girl is very interesting. She pretty much is like a little girl who turns into a monster, but here's the catch about it. She's actually a 20-some-year-old woman, or maybe like in her late 20s, early 30s, possibly. She's actually an adult in a child's body, but transforms into a monster. And her power set is that every time that she turns into a monster, it de-ages her, meaning that instead of making her older, every time she transforms, it makes her younger. So that's what kind of threw me off a bit, because I remember, correct me if I'm wrong, I noticed some people had said that she once went by the name of Monster Woman, but because she kept transforming so much in de-aging, she became a girl, so now they just call her Monster Girl. There is one character, Battle Beast. My gosh, Battle Beast went beast mode. No pun intended. But no, the character went beast mode. Like, I want to see more of that character. But overall, the whole season of Invincible, it makes me want more of what they have to offer. And yeah, I'm still reading the comics right now. I have not finished it because, again, like, I didn't know anything about this show until I saw a trailer on it on Amazon. And once I found that it was actually based off a comic book, I couldn't really find anyone that actually knew much about the character. But it's not like his character was out, or this series was out like long ago when I was like a child or anything. I think this comic actually came out around the mid 2014-ish. I could be wrong. Please, if I'm wrong, please leave a comment down if I'm wrong about that. But it's not that old, but it's not like, very, very recent, if that makes sense. Kind of like an in-between. So I'm still reading the comics. I'm still trying to get familiarized with the Invincible universe, but I'm really starting to put, Mark Grayson Invincible kind of up there with, like, I feel like he's moved up a couple of tiers from other heroes that I actually consider my favorite. And given that I have placed, my top 2 favorite heroes up here, and then you also have, my second 2 top favorite heroes right here. So my 2 top favorite, and then you have my second 2 top favorite. Now, Mark pretty much is like somewhere in the middle. Like, it's kind of like a square. And Mark is literally in that middle. And not saying that he's my favorite of all time. It's just that watching him progress from what he was from the first episode up until the finale, I'm starting to like this, version of Mark. And usually whenever I watch shows like this, I never really say that, oh, this character was my favorite or anything like that. But Mark, on the other hand, has pretty much have changed that for me. And I kind of put him up there. Omni-Man, of course. Omni-Man is pretty much like Superman. But anywho, it's very heartfelt as well. Like, I'm really itching for more. I'm really itching to see where they go with this. Really interested in to see more about the Viltrumites. How they came to be, all of that. Because again, like, I'm still reading the comic. And what I'm trying to do is I want to read the comic first before I watch the show. So that way that it won't, because that way if I watch the show first, then it's like, okay, maybe this is kind of what happened in the comic. Knowing that when I read the comic, I mean, some of the stuff on there, I would say it was like at least 80%, if not 85% comic accurate to the animated show. I mean, they changed a few things here and there, but my opinion was more like it was 85%. So I like to just read the comic first and then watch the show just so I can see, okay, so they did that in the, comic. Then also, they didn't really change much of the characters' origins or anything like that. Some of them pretty much stayed the same. Even not only that, some of the dialogue was almost accurate to the show. So again, I am really anticipating on seeing this show. And for those who haven't watched it, I would say you should watch it because like it's almost as if like the Boys TV show that was on Amazon as well actually opened that door to to comic book superhero shows that have that kind of tone to it. Because again, a lot of people say that they don't like DC because DC was always dark and serious. And if you think about it, The Boys was almost the same way. I don't know, but anywho, again, this show is a must watch. I really would advise people to get on Amazon. If you don't have Amazon, just find a friend that has one. Say, hey, let's watch the show Invincible. And look, I would say just watch the first episode. Just watch the first episode. Don't just binge watch the whole thing and it's because I told you to do it. I just want you, the audience, to just watch the show. And then if you like it, then you can continue. But if it's not your thing, then that's okay as well. It's just that to me, I like it, and not only because I'm a superhero guy, it's also because that I like shows like that. I like different stories. I like different character development. I like to see where story goes from there. So, and I'm happy to hear that. Of course, I had to find this out on my Instagram page that the Invincible has been renewed for season 2 and season 3. So, oh man, I'm really anticipating to see where they go from there. So again, if you guys have any comments that you want to say about the show, just leave them down there. If you like this channel, leave a like, subscribe, share with your friends. Because, in this show, I like to talk all about, superheroes, whether it's movies, TV shows, comic books, animation, video games, so forth and so on. So again, hope you all have a great weekend.